Words cannot describe the anguish and despair that we are feeling as the parents of our beautiful daughter, Madeline.
From my point of view, somebody knows what's happened.
Spin around, darling. Right round. Oh, yes, I can see your wings.
It's a big smile.
One more, big smile. That's pretty.
Do you know who is the most heavily reported missing person case in modern history? This is the title the Daily Telegraph proposed in 2008 about the disappearance of a little girl that you may have already heard of. Hi everyone. In this video, we will explore the mysterious disappearance of Madeleine McCann, the 3-year-old British child who vanished from her bed at a resort in Portugal. So join me, maybe together we find some new clues because the mystery is still unsolved. When Madeleine's parents, Kate and Gerry McCann, were planning for their trip to Portugal, they could never imagine that it would turn into a doomed holiday. And May 3rd, 2007 would mark the darkest date in their life, leaving them in total sorrow, regretting their plan. On May 12, 2021, Madeleine would have been 18 years old. Her parents wrote on their Facebook page, "Every May is tough, a reminder of years past, of years together lost or stolen." First of all, let's have a quick look at the location where our missing person disappeared, Praia da Luz, in the Algarve region of Portugal. Praia da Luz, or Luz as it is officially called, is a small resort town in the Algarve region of Portugal. Its population in 2011 was 3,545. While its name refers to urbanized village and the beach, it is also known as Little Britain, due to the increasing number of British homeowners and holidaymakers in the area. Once a fishing village, Praia da Luz changed into a tourist destination after several holiday villa complexes were made there. It boasts for its charming sandy bay, great climate, delicious food, and family-friendly atmosphere, welcoming tourists to experience a memorable holiday. Now, before going any further, it's better to review the life of Madeleine from birth up to the time of her disappearance. Madeleine McCann was born on May 12, 2003, in Leicester, UK, after IVF treatment. Both of her parents are physicians and practicing Roman Catholics. Madeleine, or Maddie, has twin siblings, Sean and Emily, who were 2 years old at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. She lived with her family in Rothley, in Leicestershire. On April 28, 2007, Kate and Gerry McCann arrived to Ocean Club Resort in Praia da Luz in Portugal's Algarve region for the 7 days spring holiday. Their holiday rental was a 2-bedroom ground-floor apartment located in 5A Rua Drive, Agostinho da Silva, and owned by a retired teacher from Liverpool. The McCanns were on holiday with their longtime friends, Fiona and David Payne, and their 2 children, and Fiona's mother, Diane Webster, as well as 2 other couples, Jane Tanner and her partner, Russell O'Brien, with their 2 children, and Matthew Oldfield and his wife, Rachel Oldfield, and their daughter, each family staying in an apartment in the same resort. In the evenings, Kate and Gerry McCann would join their friends for dinner at the resort's tapas restaurant, about 50 meters away from their apartment. The Tapas 7 was the given name to McCann's friends for having dinner in the said restaurant every night. 5A was accessible from 2 sides. Sliding glass patio doors could be accessed through a public street, and 5A's front door, which was on the opposite side of the block from the Ocean Club. The bedroom of McCann's children was next to the front door, which was locked by Kate and Gerry McCann. It had 1 window with curtains and a metal exterior shutter controlled by a cord inside the window. However, the McCanns did not open the curtains and shutter during the holiday. Madeline's bed was a single bed next to the bedroom door, and the twins slept in travel cots in the middle of the room. Thursday, May 3rd, 2007. At 7:30 a.m. over breakfast, Madeline asked her parents why the night before, when she and her brother woke up and cried, they had not been in the apartment. Kate and Gerry decided to repeatedly check their children when going out for dinner. After a fun-filled day in the resort, the McCanns put their children to bed at 7 p.m., where soon they fell asleep. Kate and Gerry made sure that shutters outside the ground floor bedroom were down and the window was closed. At 8:30 p.m., Kate and Gerry left 5A apartment to dine with their friends in the tapas restaurant, located on the other side of the pool about 55 meters from the apartment. Around 9:05, Gerry went to check the children. They were sound asleep, but Gerry remembered to have left the children's bedroom door slightly ajar, while that time it was wide open. So he made it nearly closed and went back to the restaurant. Around 9:15, while Jane Tanner was walking past the McCann's apartment to go and check her own children, she saw a man carrying a child, the one who became the first main suspect after Madeline's disappearance. The child had light-colored pink pajamas with a floral pattern on, just like what Madeline had worn for sleeping. At 9:30 p.m., Kate wanted to go and check the children, but Matthew Oldfield, who wanted to check his own children, offered to check apartment 5A as well. He saw the children's bedroom door wide open, but since there was no noise, he assumed everything was okay and he did not check inside the room. Around 10 p.m., Kate went to check her children. She went inside the apartment through the unlocked patio doors at the back and saw the children's bedroom door was wide open. When she wanted to close the door slowly, a breeze slammed it shut, and she saw the bedroom window and its shutter open, while Madeline was missing. She rushed back to the restaurant shouting that Madeline was gone and someone had taken her. The missing of Madeline was reported to the police, and at 10:30 p.m. search for the missing child started in the resort with 60 staff and guests who thought Madeline was wandering about. 2 officers from the gendarmerie came to the resort at 11:10 p.m. for investigation, and after a brief search called the criminal police, the Policia Judiciaria, or PJ, who brought several search and rescue dogs. The search was conducted everywhere around the resort and Praia de Luz: waterways, wells, caves, sewers and ruins, with Inspector Gonçalo Amaral, head of the criminal police in Portimão, as the investigations coordinator. Unfortunately, the best opportunities to track and find Madeline were lost due to some mistakes made soon after her missing. For instance, Border and Marine Police were informed about the incident and Madeline's description after many hours. No house-to-house search was conducted, and even roadblocks were just set the following day at 10 a.m. There was no request for the CCTV pictures showing the cars leaving the resort at the time of Madeline's vanishing. Sadly, even Interpol issued a global missing person alert after 5 days. The result of DNA testing of samples collected from Madeline's bedroom indicated the presence of one stranger. But the apartment 5A was not secured, and almost 20 people had entered the place. On May 4th, the McCanns made an appeal for information. As Gerry McCann said, "Words cannot describe the anguish and despair that we are feeling as the parents of our beautiful daughter, Madeline. We request that anyone who may have information relating to Madeline's disappearance, no matter how trivial, contact the Portuguese police and help us get her back safely. Please, if you have Madeline, let her come home to her mommy, daddy, brother, and sister." At the same time, Chief Constable Matt Baggett from Leicestershire Police was assigned to lead the British team and cooperating with the Portuguese police in the investigation. The British police team consisted of representatives from Leicestershire Police, the Serious Organised Crime Agency, SOCA, the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Centre, CEOP, and the National Police Improvement Agency, or NPIA. The Portugal Crime Police, or PJ, gave the British team a room to work, but apparently they were not happy with the procedure. 10 days later, the Portugal police started questioning Robert Murat, a British-Portuguese man who became the first arguido, or suspect, in the case. He lived in his mother's house, which was 137 meters from apartment 5A, in the same direction that Tanner had claimed to see the man carrying a child. Even 3 of McCann's friends, Fiona Payne, Russell O'Brien, and Rachel Oldfield, as well as 2 British tourists, stated that they had seen Murat outside apartment 5A shortly after Madeline's vanishing. Murat's house and garden were searched, the pool drained, and his computer, phone, and videotapes all checked. However, no single trace of Madeline was found. On May 15th, the McCanns set up Madeline's Fund, leaving no stone unturned limited, to raise money and awareness. Further, throughout May and June 2007, in order to keep the media interest on the case, the couple traveled to various places, such as Fatima in Portugal, Netherlands, Germany, Spain, and Morocco, as well as meeting Pope Benedict XVI in Rome. The picture of Madeline on the front page of British newspapers every day for a period of 6 months drastically increased the sale of extra copies. On the other hand, between May 2007 and July 2008, the Portuguese newspaper Correio de Mana published 384 articles about Madeline. In some of the statements to the Portugal Criminal Police, witnesses reported some men behaving strangely near apartment 5A before and even the day of Madeline's disappearance. Also, as described by some witnesses, an ugly, blonde-haired man was seen on May 2nd and May 3rd across the road from 5A, watching the apartment. In June 2007, a German journalist, as well as a Portuguese newspaper, referred to the McCanns as suspects due to alleged inconsistencies and discrepancies between their statements. By this time, Inspector Amaral suspected that the McCanns were involved in the disappearance of their daughter. A theory was developed that Madeline had died accidentally in apartment 5A, and her parents had hidden her body. In August, for the first time, police announced the possibility that Madeline was dead, and on September 7th, both parents were given arguido status, due to Madeline's DNA found by 2 British sniffer dogs in the boot of the car they had rented for holiday and behind the sofa in apartment 5A. However, the McCanns were allowed to leave Portugal and return to England 2 days later. In October, Inspector Amaral was removed from the case after claiming that the British police were conducting the investigations in favor of the McCanns. In March 2008, the McCanns were offered £550,000 libel damages and front-page apologies from Express newspapers due to the claim that they were involved in Madeline's death. Moreover, the first suspect, Robert Murat, received £600,000 in libel damages from 4 newspaper groups, which stated his connection with the child's vanishing. In July 2008, Portuguese Attorney General announced that the arguido or suspect status of the McCanns and Murat would be lifted. No charges have been brought against them. The investigation continues, and the case was closed. On the other hand, 3 days later, Inspector Amaral's book, Maddie, The Truth of the Lie, was published in Portugal, and translated into 6 languages by 2010. The McCann's libel action against him and the publisher awarded them over 600,000 euros in libel damages in 2015. However, Amoral's appeal against that decision succeeded in 2016. In early 2009, the McCanns returned to Portugal and launched a new appeal for information focused on the area of Madeleine's disappearance, as well as participating in a film of the incident reconstruction. In November 2010, the McCanns launched an online petition asking for UK and Portuguese joint review of all available evidence. And later that month, they signed a contract for publishing a book about Madeleine's disappearance, Madeline. While the McCanns hired private detectives to help in the investigation, in 2011 Scotland Yard launched its own investigation, called Operation Grange, under Home Secretary Theresa May, and supported by Prime Minister David Cameron. The team consisted of 29 detectives and 8 civilians, and the operation was financed by a Home Office contingency fund. In 2012, believing that Madeleine could still be alive, Scotland Yard released an age progression picture of Madeleine showing her possible face as a 9-year-old girl. Tens of thousands of documents were translated from Portuguese to English, and 60 persons of interest, including 12 Britons, were further investigated. However, in 2015, the number of officers was reduced to 4. The cost of Operation Grange reached £11.75 million in 2019, with the British government confirming to fund the operation until March 2020. As stated by Detective Chief Inspector Andy Redwood of Scotland Yard's Homicide and Serious Crime Command, the focus of Operation Grange was on searching for a criminal act by a stranger, such as a planned abduction or a burglary, which led to Madeleine's vanishing because she probably disturbs the action. With the help of more than 30 countries, police used mobile phone tracking techniques to trace the people who used their cell phones near the place of Madeleine's disappearance in that night. Detectives interviewed those people, and they denied their involvement in the incident and were cleared by DNA evidence. In June 2020, the police of Germany started investigating the possible involvement of 43-year-old German prisoner Christian Bruckner as a suspect in Madeleine's disappearance. At the time of incident, he was living in a yellow and white VW T3 Westphalia campervan in and around Praia de Luz. As his British girlfriend claimed the night before Madeleine's disappearance, Bruckner told her, "I have a job to do in Praia de Luz tomorrow. It's a horrible job, but it's something I have to do and it will change my life. You won't be seeing me for a while." While being convicted of offenses of children's sexual abuse and drug trafficking, and at present serving 7 years in jail for sexually assaulting a 72-year-old pensioner in the Algarve region, Bruckner has denied his involvement in Madeleine's vanishing. German prosecutor Hans Christian Walters believes that Bruckner has abducted and murdered Madeleine. While Bruckner was named as the chief suspect in Madeleine's disappearance 2 years ago in 2020, Portuguese police officially revealed his name as a suspect in 2022. Although based on telecommunication data, Bruckner received a phone call on May 3, 2007, near the 5A apartment in Praia de Luz. He claims to have been miles away with a young German woman. There is speculation that something belonging to Madeleine, maybe fibers from her pajamas, were discovered in Bruckner's campervan. However, while not denying the presence of evidence, Mr. Walters has revealed that it is not a forensic one. In September 2022, the McCanns lost the latest stage in their 13-year legal battle. An appeal to the European Court of Human Rights over claims made in Portuguese Police Inspector Amoral's book that states their involvement in their daughter's disappearance. The European Court of Human Rights upheld Amoral's right to free speech. Later again in September 2022, the Metropolitan Police, which runs Operation Grange, announced £50,000 cut in the funding for the ongoing search for Madeleine, as part of a general belt-tightening move, resulting in the annual grant for the operation to be around £300,000. However, Kate and Gerry McCann are still hoping to find their daughter Madeline safe and alive one day. After all these years of sorrow and regret, on the anniversary of Madeline's disappearance in 2022, the couple wrote a message on the official Find Madeline campaign Facebook page as, "It feels no harder than any other, but no easier either. Regardless if time passed, Madeline is still in people's hearts and minds. Many people talk about the need for closure. It's always felt a strange term. Regardless of outcome, Madeline will always be our daughter, and a truly horrific crime has been committed. These things will remain. It is true, though, that uncertainty creates weakness. Knowledge and certainty give strength, and for this reason our need for answers, for the truth, is essential." If this bizarre story captivated your attention, don't forget to like the video, leave your comments down below, and subscribe to the channel. Meanwhile, by hitting the notification bell, you can stay up to date each time we upload a new mysterious case. Please, don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. Until next time, stay safe. We will be with you soon again with another shocking case.